everybody. I so hope you guys are having a really good day. I am taking advantage. We're going to do some chippies this morning. I'm taking advantage of a gallery map that I picked up at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts when my dear daughter-in-law to-be and I took in the Sunken Cities Treasures of Ancient Egypt exhibit there at the museum. Man, if you get an opportunity to see this or, discover some of it online, definitely do it. It was a fascinating look at kind of the juxtaposition of the Egyptian, Grecian, and the Ptolemaic dynasties and how these dynasties and the gods and goddesses developed. It was really fun, and I love this gallery map. And when I picked it up, I was just picking up things because they have changed some of the exhibits at VMFA, particularly the I was going to see if I could spot it on here, the I sound like my mom. That's what she does. She calls it her computer working. The Fabergé egg exhibit, which was just really, really fascinating. And I always love to go see the Fabergé egg exhibit. So going to work with the gallery map today. I have some, it's odd because what I do is I kind of go through papers, and I've started just organizing things in these little envelopes. You guys have seen me use these before. They are the photograph envelopes that you remember when we all had like little photograph albums that we kept in our purse. But you can find these for like $1 at the Dollar Tree, dollar store, the Thrift Mart, but you can also find them for $1 at the dollar store. So I really do love these for organizing. So let's get started here. I'm going to grab my scissors. I've got my glue stick out, and we are just going to talk a little bit about this Sunken Cities exhibit and make some chippies. These are, such a fun way and a very unique and original way to make a memory. We are going to arrange these and then, just kind of put some words on them because that's just kind of the way the chippy train runs here. But, you could use a printed brochure like this of a place that you visited, with a family or with a friend, or even by yourself, since we're kind of, we're still social isolating right now. And be able to share it with someone who maybe is just not getting out at all. I read a report from the Wall Street Journal yesterday that was talking about the way that people are aging now. It used to be when people retired, they would retire and they would travel and they would go places and they would do things, and they that was a retirement plan, right? Do you want to travel? Do you want to go back to school? Do you want to see the world? Do you want to start a business? And now people they call it aging at home. And people are not choosing to take advantage of their retirement because of COVID. It was a really interesting article. And I found myself kind of thinking about this sort of thing. I don't expect to retire. I expect to just keep on working and keep on trucking and keep on doing what I do. But, I think about people who have, been in businesses like, teachers or professors or, policemen or firemen or nurses or doctors or whatever, who've had like my career has been like this meandering kind of whatever. And a lot of people, went to school and studied like engineering, and they become an engineer or whatever, but they're retiring now. And it is very, it's a wee scary out there because you know, you're retiring and you're not following through with all the, you know, the things that you wanted to do, the things, you know, that you saved money to do. And you know, there's kind of like a sadness to that people are aging at home. But the Wall Street Journal did make the point that this has created a new sort of marketing kind of dynamic. There's nothing like a dream, so I think we're just going to use half of this. I'm using Tim Holtz. I know they aren't Chit Chat, but I can't remember what they're called. There's nothing like a dream. Okay, so we finished one chippy. I did some, you're thinking, now where, I didn't see her make these. No, you didn't see me make these, because I've been keeping a little bit of paint on my desk and just randomly painting things. I was kind of talking about it over at my Patreon site, which if you aren't with me at Patreon, then I will put a link in the description box below, and you can kind of check out my Patreon. That's kind of where I do a lot of personal kind of things. I like that. Create the future. So, you know, just a different dynamic for aging. You know, we're not going to take trips to the museum. We aren't going to take trips to Italy. We aren't going to take trips to even see our children. We are going to age at home in this, you know, completely new era that we are living in, that we are just, you know, kind of having to, you know, Chris was talking about this morning, and he was like, well, you know, the venues here are adapting, and they're learning to adapt really quickly. It's amazing to witness, you know, as a person who was in the music business for 30 years, it's amazing to watch my friends who are tour professionals not work. There's no work, nobody's touring, which has affected me because I wrote, you know, like, I don't know, like liner notes and, you know, content for websites for bands and things like that, and we just aren't doing that at all anymore. You know, just kind of another change. But, you know, we were talking about how kind of quickly that people are, you know, venues are adapting very kind of fast. So both of us were happy about that. Shine like the whole universe is yours. I've got like a little, oh, okay. I thought that was a glue bump, but it's a paint bump, so I'm good with that. All right, I think that was all of our little painted things that we had. So let's use these and let's cut them apart. Such rich imagery. You know, you go to the museum and it's like being in another world. The Sunken Cities exhibit was totally like another world. It was, you know, like I said, it was, we'll just read about it real quick. Late period Egypt, 7th and 4th century BC, was a time of great social and political change. Both native Egyptian pharaohs and Persians ruled over the land during this era. Alexander the Great's conquest of Egypt in 332 initiated a new phase of its long history, 3 centuries of intense contact between the civilizations of Egypt, Greece under the Ptolemaic dynasty. These ongoing interactions produced new forms of artistic, literary, and religious expression, trends that continued after Egypt became part of the Roman Empire in 30 BC. So it's very, very interesting. More than 1,200 years ago, the cities of Thonis, Heraklion, and Canopus on Egypt's north coast disappeared beneath rising waters and natural disasters. Although ancient accounts told of their splendor, these cities were largely forgotten, lost in the Mediterranean Sea until 1996, when maritime archaeologist Frank Gaudio discovered the cities. Now, the cities were cool because they presented the trio of Osiris, Iris, and their son, let's see, Osiris, Iris, and Horus. There we go. It was just a really interesting story. Osiris was the first mummy. His brother Seth killed him because he was jealous, and his sister wife Isis mummified him and brought him back to life. So it was really, really interesting. I did not know that Osiris was the first mummy, and then his sister wife Isis brought him back to life, and then they birthed Horus. And if you've ever seen, I'm not sure if it'll be in here or not, the Eye of Horus. Let's look. Let's see. It's not in here, but I do think that it's in the family guide. Just the photos are just amazing in these, you know, in these publications. I'm sure you can. Anyway, it's not here. Darn. Okay, it's the all-seeing eye. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is the Eye of Horus, which I thought was really interesting. Okay, so we talked about that. We were talking about aging. We talked about sunken cities. Museum, you know, going to the museum. I mean, that used to be just something that I so enjoyed doing. And it was just fun because our museum, of course, like a lot of museums, is free. The Sunken Cities exhibit was a ticketed event, but, you know, I mean, how often do you get to see things that have ancient Egyptian artifacts that have been buried under the ocean since 1200? You know, not often. So it was well worth it. And it was so nice to, you know, just to be with my dear daughter-in-law, to be able to spend time with her. She's a hardworking girl. We always have fun together because she works for Random House, and, you know, we're always talking about books. And she was reading Recursion when she was here. So when she left, she said, I left the book for you. It's upstairs. And I was like, yay. So she always, for Christmas, she always sends me a stack of books. And it's like, oh, dear goodness. It's always nice. Let's see. This is one of the Fabergé eggs. The Fabergé eggs, the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts has the what is touted as the largest collection of Fabergé eggs outside Russia. They have 5, and the exhibit is just you know, a tribute to Fabergé and just the absolute miracles that the workmen who worked for Fabergé actually designed. We were really entranced, and this is probably going to carry through into some sort of artistic endeavor, with the miniature Fabergé eggs that were created to wear around the neck. And they are amazing, absolutely beautiful. And, you know, I'm kind of like in the mood to create maybe some, I don't know, salt clay, not salt clay, what do they call it? Cold clay. You make it out of cornstarch and a few other things. And I'm like, you know, I think I might like to try that. I think it would be fun to do some cold clay creations. I haven't done that in quite some time. Let's see. Let me use Fine Joy right here. What are some of the things you guys are doing since, you know, we are kind of hunkered down? The museum hasn't been reopened for very long. I think it reopened maybe over the summer. If you are a patron of mine, you're going to get a printable today of these chippies that I am making. And I hope you guys really enjoy them. They really are fun to make, especially when you kind of, you know, we're experiencing flow, right? We're really experiencing it because we, you know, we had our chippy substrates already boom ready to go. That's why I really like using these small envelopes, because what you can do, guys, is you can just design your own kit, and you can stick, you know, this is 2 kits, so you stick one in here and one in here, and then you pop this baby on your desk in the morning, and boom, you're ready to go with a project. And isn't that nice? You know, where a lot of us are working from home now, and, you know, we might have 5-10 minutes, you know, 10-minute break or 5-minute break or whatever. I mean, grab your flow journal and take a few elements out of that and do something fun with it. Show you the way. That one seems to fit great. We've got 2 more chippies to complete here. Our chippies for creating memories. I mean, if you're doing a making memories project, you could always just flip this over and write on the back, or, you know, make it, put magnetic tape on the back and write a date right here and where you were and what was going on. So that's always fun too. I think with this one, I'm gonna use the VMFA logo. And you know, this might be a little, just a little something too, as a memory. I could put it in a flow journal. I could put it in a, in my planner, which would be fun. I'm going to kind of do that like that and take advantage of that National Geographic logo there. Recently, Miss C, thanks Miss C, sent me brochures about luxury travel with National Geographic, you know, private planes and things like that. And I'm thinking, I bet if you, you know, if you have the wherewithal, that's probably the way that a lot of people are, you know, traveling now, in very, very small groups, you know, instead of big groups. So kind of the way of the world right now, my friends. All right, so sometimes you can like read National Geographic and you can really get a sense of traveling the world. You can kind of use your National Geographic to show you the way out of the ordinary into the world of creativity, into the world of collecting moments, creating the future. It's fun to visit a museum because you find joy there. You find examples of courage, like the rich story of the Tsars of Russia. You listen to your heart because it's very quiet there. The air is very pure, and you're able to really listen to what you're seeing. So you are listening to your visual intake. Remember that there's nothing like a dream. Remember to always shine like the whole universe is yours, because it is, it is, it is. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. See you soon. Bye.